Hey everyone, my name is Eric Dorr, and let me talk to you for a second about Introverted Intuition, the neuroscience on Introverted Intuition, as defined by Neo-Jungian typology. So, what we found is that there are two key networks influenced with Introverted Intuition. Hypothetically speaking, if there was something like Introverted Intuition, it would be like this. First of all, intuition revolves around the frontopolar network in the brain. It's revolved with counterfactual alternative thinking, creative thinking. It's a brain involved with seeing things as they could look, or as they could look differently from what they do right now. And introversion refers to a network in the brain called the top-down network, which is about your ability to think independently for a solution, to think independently about what you want, instead of, for example, using the bottom-up network to study your environment and to find what you want in your environment. So the difference here is where you gather information. Do you gather it inside, or do you gather it outside? And what the Introverted intuition would be, as if it was a function, it would be a connectivity between the frontopolar network and between this top-down network. So what you would find is the introverted intuitive would be somebody who thinks inwards, thinks personally, independently of what other people think about what they want, or what they could want, or what they could want differently than what they want currently. This becomes like this ability to think about and reflect on what you believe and what you could believe differently from what you believe right now. So it becomes like challenging your own perspectives and your own opinions on things all the time, like constantly rethinking the truth about life and about who you are and what you are meant to do or what you want in life. And this would be triggered, not all the time, but this would be triggered whenever this neurochemical reaction happens in your brain, which triggers you to experience warning signals and caution. Introverted intuition is activated by a neurochemical impulse. It's activated by the impulse to take a step back, to proceed with caution, to reflect on your next step. Introverted intuition has both an emotional, instinctual level and a cognitive ability level. And instinctual level is actually the one that creates introverted intuition. It's not that anybody can actually use this function. Yes, anybody can use this function for anything. This is not exclusive to INJ types. It's a function that anybody can learn to use or master. But this is a function that we tend to use more when we experience caution or like a tendency to become uncertain about what's happening around us. So with introverted intuitives, there is always this natural doubt of everything happening around them. They don't think they can rely on anything that they see. They don't think they can rely on what they currently know. And they have a tendency to question this all the time. Question their own beliefs, question their own opinions, question their own thoughts, question who they are, what they know, or if they know things the accurate way. So they keep rethinking systems over and over. They keep puzzling over things over and over again. So their mind is like a puzzle in many ways. It's divided into millions of pieces that they are constantly trying to order relative to one another. So a lot of times people say this is a black hole mentality, and I think that is kind of an accurate metaphor for introverted intuition. It's like a black hole in the sense that it goes inwards, it collects, it pulls together, it sorts, it organizes. But it's also kind of like chaotic in one sense, because it is constantly reorganizing itself and its own opinions and its own beliefs, constantly re-evaluating its own beliefs. And it should be said that, of course, all intuitives have this ability to constantly re-evaluate information. But what should be the case is that overall, the introverted intuitive proceeds with caution, and it's more likely to experience a need to take a step back, whereas the extrovert intuitive looks around them and finds evidence and finds new ways to sort and organize their environment. So this is where intuition happens. Does it happen on the inside with your existential beliefs, or does it happen on the outside with when you're listening to other people talk, or when you are writing a board, or like organizing lists, or making brainstorm maps, or reading books? Just consider like these things, because the introvert intuitive, or the introvert in general, has a tendency to, even though they can read a lot, or even though they can search for a lot of information, they tend to believe that information and knowledge can be attained by thinking and reflecting. Just by thinking on your own up a new solution. Whereas the extrovert intuitive thinks solutions can be found in their environment, in the people around them, in the books around them, in the things that they see, in the things that they can touch and change with their hands. So this is a difference. This is a big difference between the two. And if we believe that cognitive functions are real, then we should definitely be investigating this. We should be investigating if there are people who share both the high connectivity to the top-down network and the frontal-polar network, and what happens with these people. We should also be investigating the role of the dopamine receptors in the brain in these regions, and how these neurotransmitters create introverted intuitive behavior, which anybody can engage in, but some people engage in more just because they tend to doubt what's happening around them, and they tend to feel instinctually driven to rethink everything around them from a new angle every time they look at it. So these are my 5 cents on introverted intuition. What are your opinion on introverted intuition? What do you think about our interpretation of the neuroscience on introverted intuition? Do you think we missed something, or do you think there's something you want to know? Because we might have some more clues. So leave a comment, leave your questions down below, and let's have a good discussion. Thank you for watching.